As the clock strikes 7, the vibes alive. Inner circles here where voices thrive. Turn on your screens, let the magic unfold. Listening and healing as stories are told. Come on, come on, this is your time. No topics too tough, just heed the calls. From mental health woes to justice we seek. Together we rise for the strong and the meek. A safe space for all, let's lift every voice. Inner Circle podcast where hearts unite. Sharing our truths, bringing hope to the light. Community strong, we're never alone. Together as one, we've created a home. With laughter and love, we break down the walls. No topics too tough, just heed the calls. From mental health woes to justice we seek.
Good evening, everyone, and happy New Year 2026. We hope you are having a great New Year so far. It's only 6 days into the new year. Tonight, Inner Circle Podcast is our first show of the new year of 2026. I'm your host, Abe Kumara. I'm here with my man, Peterson, from the great city of Chicago, the Windy City. Peterson, welcome to the show.
Hey, good evening, Abe. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year, everybody. And I hope you had a relaxing holiday. Although in the news, there was nothing relaxing about the holidays, and there's always something going on. But yeah, this is a brand new year. I hope you come into it with your resolutions, and hopefully you stick to them. I know everybody usually make resolutions, myself included, but by the time January is winding down, most people like forget about them or they slack, and then it just slowly go away. But once again, it's a new year. Let's come into it prepared to be productive and work on yourselves. Things that were disappointments last year, I hope that this year things will change. And I know last year we said our word was hope. So we are in a new year, and we hope that what we were hoping for, those things will come through. So thank you.
That's a good one right there. And then in line with that, right? The topic for today is what are you leaving behind in 2025 and stepping into 2026, right? It's like to that point, people make New Year resolution in 20. I mean, for the new year, they say, "Oh, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to go to the gym. Or I'm going to do X, Y, Z." All kinds of New Year resolutions, right? So, what are we leaving behind in 2025, and what are we stepping into in 2026? As Peterson said, man, like last year was busy, but the first 6 days of this year,
It's
it's
been
like it seems like it seems like almost 12 months of the year.
almost
But
it's
hey,
6 days. Yep.
so folks, you can contribute to the conversation tonight, right, by putting a comment in the chat or calling our number 952-594-5154. Follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on X, you know, Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. We are growing. And this year, Cycle Podcast resolution 2026, we are leaving behind just sitting in studio. We're going to try to go into the community as well, right? In 2026, we'll try to be in a community, try to see what's going on. Because there's a lot going on. It's a lot. We can't just be sitting in studio all the time. Once in a while, we'll bring you live from the various communities that we try to cover. The immigrant experience in America is unique, right? It's unique. I know we are going through a lot right now, so we need to get into the community and see what folks are actually feeling during these times and during these moments. So our resolution, we are leaving behind, not just sitting behind these mics, in our studios. We will be getting to the community, hearing from our audience, hearing from folks, their life experiences, what this movement means for them, right? What it is that everyone is going through. So Peterson, I just want to throw that out there that
Mhm.
Taco Park resolution is to be in a community in 2026. We are leaving behind just sitting in the studio.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great idea to not only highlight what is actually happening in the community instead of us bringing those stories. If we are going to the communities, you can hear from those people themselves
Hmm.
who the stories are about, or whatever discussion there is. And like you said, there's a lot that's going on in within the community, and not just like the Minnesota community, although that's where it's going to start. But at the same time, there
Yeah.
are other immigrant populations everywhere, and each one is unique. Everybody have a story to tell. So this being hopefully the number one immigrant platform soon, we can go into the various communities and highlight those stories.
Yeah, and we are definitely right. Definitely, it's not going to be limited to Minnesota. Like Chicago has a huge immigrant community. Huge immigrant population. Philadelphia, Dallas, Houston. I mean, everywhere, right? Is that this country is huge. It's beautiful. Immigrants built this. I mean, immigrants have contributed immensely to this country. So just want to highlight those experiences. As you said, right? Our aim is, if we are not already, our aim is to become the number one immigrant platform highlighting our life experiences in these United States. Because I think that's what that's lacking. The narrative sometimes around the immigrant experience. Now all you hear, right, when there's these raids or there's this something around immigrant or criminals. Want to say, so everyone you're arresting, they're all criminal, right? Whatever, or like, getting rid of criminals and XYZ. So it's that whole narrative that's going on right now. So I think getting into the community, hearing from folks, will actually make a difference, because we don't hear that. We don't really hear from folks that are, living their everyday life, trying to feed their family, trying to take care of their family, trying to take care of their homes, trying to protect their community, right? There's a lot of stories out there, and I think it's up to us to try to hear directly from our communities.
Yeah, and it's something that it sounds like it's going to be unique, because even besides it being immigrant, you don't usually see that type of interaction
Hmm.
from other platforms or other influencers to actually go into the community and showcase or highlight things that are happening in the community. Because like you said, the narratives out there is so negative that sometimes people, if you actually, maybe the first few times you interact with people, they will think like, oh, that's AI. Because everything is so negative. They
Yeah.
demonize people, so that if you actually see somebody, you have to think twice, like, wait, is that actually real, or what I've been hearing is the actual real thing? So
Yeah. Yeah, and Peterson, as you know, man, since we established your platform, we have intentionally, tried to get out of the drama, the clickbait stuff, right? Is that we are not trying to chase, subscribers or followers, trying to do it intentionally, where you're trying to be positive, right? As I've always said on the Inner Cycle podcast on this platform, there are a lot of immigrants doing great things, right? If we just, but the fact that they are not being highlighted, right? Is like they are not being highlighted, right? It's like it's just this negative narrative, right? That is just, and it has been amplified to the level now. It's like, damn, really? It's
yeah.
like, as an immigrant sitting here, it's like, dude, I don't think, immigrants are this, are XYZ, right? But that's what has been pushed. And, the more you flood the zone with such a narrative, the more it stick, right? I think they like, it's going to stick. And that's what's going on. So for us, we are being intentional. It's not only like, the 2025 World of the Year, just that clickbait. We have been intentional in trying to be positive, bring positive vibe here. And as we go into the various community, that's the same thing we'll try to stick to, right? Just to kind of say, hey man, who are those immigrant businesses, those immigrant doctors, right? Those folks that are going about everyday lives, healthcare, even healthcare in this country, the majority of employees in healthcare are immigrants
Yep.
doing good work, providing good care. So those are the stories to me. I think we'll be covering, we'll be highlighting folks like that, that are doing good work, because these things are not being covered. No one is covering it. All you hear, immigrants are dicks, immigrants are that. I mean, man, it's crazy.
Yeah, and we have some catch up to do, because the negative narratives have been out there for so long that it kind of, like you say, is being amplified. So with us coming in with the positive stories and the positive side of things, it's going to take some time to actually get people. And it's all about mindset, like you said. if you flood the airways or people's attention with just negative, 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 pretty soon they're gonna think like, yeah, everything is negative. When you see the positive, you have to maybe bring it once or twice for them to actually see it like, oh, okay, well, this is how things are actually supposed to be done.
Yeah, and definitely, as I said, that's our resolution for 2026. We're going to be in the various communities. So look out for us. We are working on that. That will be rolled out very, very soon. But man,
Yeah.
Peter, man, this is the first week of 2026, like first full week, right? And it's about kind of alignment, where when people do set these resolutions, right? I think sometimes you have to be aligned. Is it really realistic? Is it not peer pressure? These days with social media, if other folks are doing something, maybe if someone have a six pack, you think like, man, I can do I can do that, right? I mean, you try to feed that pressure, right, without being realistic, with no like kind of alignment. That's something like this first week of 2026, folks are realizing, well, can I really do that, right? Can I
Yeah.
really achieve what everything that I set out to do this 2026? But I think you have to be intentional about it, though. That's where I come from, right? You have to be intentional, and you have to be realistic. And then the other thing too, I realized you actually have to write them down,
Yep.
not just maybe keeping it in your head and just rolling with the flow.
Yeah. So it's funny you say that because when it comes to these resolutions that people make, and like you said, most times is because of peer pressure, and now social media have added its own pressure to that because you see your buddy from 5, 10 years ago that you guys all used to have like this chisel body and six pack, and then life happened and you got your one pack, and you this person is in the gym constantly, and you see them with their six pack, and then you're like, oh, I can do that. I'm not saying you cannot get back to that, but it's going to take, like you said, determination, and you have to be intentional about it. And even then, it's not guaranteed that you're going to go back to that body that you had before. And it doesn't have to be with body getting in shape. There are many things that people sometimes set these resolutions, and it's almost like when it comes to your job, and they talk about several years ago they came out with this like SMART goals, when
Yep.
because before it used to be just set your yearly goals and objectives. This is what
Yep.
I need to do, but
Yep.
then they came out with the SMART goals, where it's
Mhm.
something that has to be smart, measurable, and attainable. But when it comes to the resolutions, you have to set realistic goals, things that you can conquer. You can't say if you let's stick with like exercise or working out. If you are 30 pounds overweight for the due weight for your height and your
Mhm.
age.
Yep.
And I mean, everybody is unique. Just because you are both like 6 foot or 5'9" or whatever, and then they said in the medical book, at that height and at your age of 37 years old, you're supposed to be 170 pounds, but now you happen to be 215. It doesn't mean that you're going to go back down to that 170. No, that's not realistic.
Mhm.
And just because somebody else is walking at that weight, it doesn't mean that you have to be at that same weight. So we need to quit like doing comparison, like, oh, John is the same age as me, and we're around the same height, and he's at this weight. That means I have to be. No, you don't know like what all John has to do to maintain that weight. And if you take some drastic steps to get to that weight, it's probably not healthy for you.
Yep.
But
Yep.
that's something that you can achieve within a short time. So if you say, yeah, within the first 4 months of this year, I want to lose 10 pounds, 5 pounds, 10 pounds, between 5 to 10. But many times when we are setting resolutions, like, oh, yeah, this year I want to lose 40 pounds. But and then we want to lose it all within the first month of the year. And then we get burned out. So
Yeah.
you get burned out, you get tired of going to the gym and things like that. So make sure that your goals are something that is realistic and is achievable, because you'll get discouraged if you set the bar so high and you can't meet it. Then you're gonna get down on yourself, like, man, I try but I can't get to this. And that's when people go different routes, and they go either the medication route or the surgery route, and so forth. And like I said, it's not only with exercise and body. There are many resolutions that people set, but many times we over uh, we set goals that we cannot meet. It's not
Mhm.
realistic.
Yeah, I do agree with you, right? And it has to. I mean, you raise some perfect points, right? And it also has to do with like sometimes with like clarity in a goal
Hmm.
we're trying to set, right? There's not that clarity. Okay, what is it really that you're trying? I mean, you talk about a smart goal. What is it exactly? That
Hmm.
you're trying to achieve here. Are you trying to lose 70 pounds in 12 months or 30 pounds in 12 months? Or
Hmm.
maybe are you trying to lose weight, basically, right? Whether
Yeah.
it's 10 pounds, whether it's 5 pounds, right? The goal is what you got to be. I mean, there has to be some clarity towards that, right? It's like, but if you just said, hey, I'm trying to, I've gained all these pounds, I'm trying to lose them, you will lose focus, right? Because there's no clarity, you know
Yeah.
what I mean, and things like that. So there has to be some level of clarity. And the other thing too, there has to be some level of reflection, right? Is that you cannot
Hmm.
fully step into 2026 if you are still carrying the weight of 2025, right?
Right.
It's like, you know what I mean, your goals and your resolutions have to be, like you have to be living behind whatever it is that you're living behind, right?
Hmm.
Instead
Hmm.
of carrying that weight with you, carrying that mindset with you, there has to be a mindset shift. Basically, if you want to, whatever your resolution is, whether it's losing weight, whether it's gaining financial freedom, whether it's cutting down your expenses, whether it's more experiences, you know what I mean, stuff like that, creating more memories, whatever it is, right? There has to be some level of clarity. And sometimes, especially in our community, we don't have that, right? We just follow the crowd.
Hmm.
People, especially our females, I mean, nothing against them, right? But everyone just want to follow the crowd, right? Your friend is looking sexy, wearing those sexy clothes on social media, and you want to be like that, right? Without, to your point, without knowing the amount of work that went into that or
Yeah.
whatever they did to get to that. You just
Right.
want to say, hey, I can do it. And then you set realistic expectations without any clarity.
Hmm. Yeah, so that is a great point, because without clarity, you would not know, like, which direction you're going. So that's what I was talking about, something that is measurable and achievable. So if you are clear on your goals, like you said, whatever your resolution is, if it's something that you said last year or in 2024, going into 25, like, oh, I plan to do this 2025, but then you didn't achieve uh, those goals, or you did not carry out those resolutions, don't I'm not saying don't make the same resolution, but don't bring that burden of 2025 and all of its disappointments and everything with you in
Mhm.
new year. So you can uh, several years ago, I used to be at a job, and every time they say, "Oh, set your goals, make it a smart goal," I'm like, "Okay, well, I just copy what I did the year before, and then I tweak it."
Yeah.
This was before AI, like before before AI. So you just tweak it, like, okay, well, this part of the my objective, I didn't complete it. Okay, that's going to become part of the new objective. So whatever goals you set last year or resolutions and you didn't achieve, you can still have those, but add a twist to it. Why didn't you achieve those resolutions
Yeah.
in 5? So there must have been some issue that made it that you were not able to go through with it. So if you are setting the same goals, now go back and there's a thing they call it, like PSP. It's like
Mhm.
process improvement, like planning. So you go and you check everything, like, okay, what's the root cause? What happened here? Why didn't I achieve this goal? Is it because of lack of time? Okay, now have I realigned everything? Do I have more time now? Why didn't I get this? Do I still have the same job? Am I still getting paid at the same rate? So if it's financial freedom, or if it's something that has to do with finances, now can I afford they I wanted to travel more last year. Okay, why didn't I travel? Is it because I couldn't afford it? Now, would I be able to afford it? Don't just set like vague goals.
Yeah.
Make sure that they're in details, and like it was said earlier, write them down, because if it's something you're just thinking like, oh yeah, this year I want to do 30 trips. Okay, 30 trips to where? How often are you going to travel? What's the frequency? Are you going to fly? Are you going to drive? Are you going to take the train? There are many modes of transportation. When you say 30 trips, are you going to 30 states? Are you going different places? So you have to make sure that your goals are clear.
Yeah, I do agree with you, man. Well, folks, now we are discussing what are you leaving behind in 2025 and stepping into 2026. So let us know, right? What are you leaving behind in 2025, right? We want to spike the conversation tonight. Whenever, whether you are listening right now, or whether you're going to listen to the conversation later, just want to know, right? Be intentional about what are you leaving behind in 2026 and what are you stepping into. And it's from, as my man Peterson, we echo, write them down. Write it is what you are stepping into in 2026. Those are your resolutions, right? And be intentional about them, right? And it has to be also, Peter, it comes from the whole mindset thing. Mindset is very, very important, I think, in resolution. What's your mindset in 2026, right? The mindset you might have had in 2025 might be different. And if you look, even look at our immigrant experience right now, the immigrant community in this country right now, I think 2025 we were in survival mode, right? Anyway, if we are coming to 2026, though, where, man, I want every immigrant, no matter whether you are documented, undocumented, or whatever, whatever your status is, whatever your situation is, I do want us to leave that survival mode behind, actually, right? Because that's what it was like 2025, right? It's like, man, it's like the administration came with this intense immigration crackdown, the intense, like, negative narrative. Oh, immigrants are criminals, immigrants are rapists, immigrants are gangsters, and this XYZ, right? There was no differentiation between, okay, they are good and bad. It's that everyone just, I think, right? Maybe I could be wrong here, but if you listen to the news, if you go on social media, it's just negative, negative, negative. So it put us in kind of a survival mode. That we're
Mhm.
just surviving, right? Always looking over our shoulder. So that's what we're in 2025. So our mindset, to me, should be in 2026. This shouldn't be about survival, man. Okay, how can we start telling our own story and start attacking things head on? Right, we shouldn't wait for other people to feel sorry for us, right? For other, you know what I mean? We got to say, man, this thing is real, right? If we don't step up, if we don't do something,
Yeah.
we might not even be here. You know, later,
Yeah, with 2025 and the whole immigration issue, 2025, it seems like the year was so long, but then it was so short at the same time. But with it being long, it's like every single week there was something in the news about immigration. Every single week. So 52 weeks in a year, there wasn't a single week that went by without something about immigration. So
Mhm.
your point, we're inundated with all this negative stuff. There are raids, there are people being attacked, there are specific group of people that are being just like basically outcast and demonized and things like that. So, uh, to your point, coming into 2026, it's not like these things are not going to happen again, but we have to change our mindset. Like, okay, well, let's come in with a clean slate. If it happens, it happens. It's not something that you can control. So control what you can, which is your mindset, the way you move around. Don't go coward in the corner because you are afraid, like, oh yeah, ICE is in my community and this and that. Just uh, like we always tell people, go on with your life. Just be careful, but live your life the same way that you live it. Is there a potential of somebody stopping you or in your community or your building or your neighborhood being raided? Yes, but at the same time, we're not going to be hiding just because we are afraid that yes, ICE is coming or the government is doing raids and things like that. So I think we should come in with a clean slate because, like you said, if you wait for all these negative narratives to come out and then we react, because that's what it seemed like in 2025. The news will come out and then people will react to it like, oh, ICE is coming to Chicago, ICE is coming to Minnesota, this and that. And then people started thinking, oh, what am I going to do? Would I go to work? Would I go to school? Would I do this? Would I do that? So in 2026, let's come with a new mindset like, okay, uh, how can we get ahead of all of these potential raids and things like that? What resources can we put in place? How can we help our community members, people, whether they are documented or undocumented, like Ibrahim said? How can we get engaged civically? How can we get engaged into we're not saying everybody should run for a representative or senator, but you need to get engaged into local politics because this is all politics that is playing out in plain sight before us. So how can we get engaged? How can I knock on some doors with new elections that are coming out? We got new midterms that will be coming out this year. So these are things that we need to start thinking about.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Well, folks, tonight we are discussing what are you leaving behind in 2025 and step into in 2026, man. And my man Peterson kind of have a great segue to that. But before, man, you can join us, whether you are watching us right now, or you can contribute to the conversation. And whenever you watch your segment, want to hear from you. What are you leaving behind in 2025 and what are you stepping into 2026? You can put a chat in a comment or call our number 952-594-5154. But I mean, Peterson, like I think you raised a great point there. Like, I think one of the things, right? I've said like so when we started this segment, first of all, as for Inner Circle Podcast, as I said, we are leaving behind just sitting behind this mic, in our studios, in 2025 and then 2026, we're gonna be stepping out there for our community. We need to get out of that survival mode and then try to, as you said, at the point like that we need to get ahead of these things that are happening in our viewers' communities, right? Get out of that survival mode and be active and
Mhm.
be active. And this year, right, and we shouldn't make fear-based decision making, right? Because all of the decision we have been so reactionary. And I think a lot of immigrants, not only last year, 2025, right? Immigrants, we are always reactive, always reacting to stuff. And one of the best quote, since we've been doing the segment, one of the best quote, that I always remember, right? And our guest came on here, one of the guests we have on here say, if you don't mess with politics, politics will mess with you. And I think these are the moment we're living right now, right? Most of us is we rather participate in politics across the Atlantic in our various, homelands versus, but this is what we are being impacted. If someone, I mean, you're not from Liberia, or folks that are from Nigeria or whatever, right? If the government of Nigeria is raising taxes, it's not going to impact you here. You don't live there, okay? But for some reason, that's why we are so fixated. That's why we are so focused. Don't get me wrong, right? There's nowhere like nowhere like your origin. I mean, there's nowhere like where you grew up or where you were born and stuff like that. Will always, but where you live right now, especially when it comes, especially in this country, we got to mess with politics. And the point I'm trying to drive at is that in 2025, we need, we're all sitting on the sidelines, right? Reacting to stuff. In addition to being in survival mode, we're all just sitting on the sideline reacting to stuff. In 2026, we have to be proactive. We have to be civically engaged. We have to what? We have to vote because it's an election year, right? If you
Right.
want change in your neighborhood, on your city council, if your water bill is high, if your light bill is high, if your electricity bill is high, because there's these data centers going all over the place, right? It's been built, if things are changing for you, you need to be civically engaged. You need to, research your candidates. You need to vote. Don't say, oh, you're not going to vote, right? If you have the ability, to run for local office, political office, go ahead and do that. If you're a citizen and you have the ability, you want to do that, go ahead and do that. Nothing should stop you, right? Nothing should stop you from doing that. So I think one of the things we should leave behind in 2025 is just sitting on the sideline and wishing things would change. Wishing that, oh yeah, we don't want to mess with politics, right? But again, politics is messing with us. And this 2026, we need to realize, man, you know what? Since politics is messing with us, we're going to mess with it as well. You're on mute. You're on mute. Oh, yeah, your audio. your audio is messed up, Peterson. I mean, okay, yeah. So as Peterson figure out
Okay.
okay, yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, I think I don't have a crystal ball, but this last year, I think is have taught a lot of immigrants that yeah, we don't need to sit on the sidelines. Although we're thrown into like all this chaos and things, I think it was like weakening moment for a lot of people because I'm thinking whatever elections are coming up next this year, the general elections in 2 years after that, I'm thinking that people now are going to be like, hey, just like you said, politics is messing with us, and I think we need to to mess with it back. So I think last year was a teaching moment for a lot of people because like you said, and we've said on here before, a lot of immigrants come here. It doesn't matter where they come from. Majority of the time is because of political or civil unrest. They would leave their countries and then come here, and they come here for stability, for safety. But a lot of them, when they get here, they're like, uh, to your point, politics was messing with me in my country. I'm not going to mess with politics. So we sit on the sidelines and just watch as things happen. But I think what has happened the last year, it taught a lot of people that hey, I think we need to get up and get engaged.
Yeah, and our way of doing that on the Inner Circle podcast, we're going to make sure, right, is that our motto here, our mission, is amplify, empower, and elevate. And as we go into these rural communities, right, these are things that we are really going to do, right, because we cannot wait for perfect timing. I mean, all immigrants across this country, right, we cannot wait for there's no perfect timing. There's never a perfect time, and that's one of the thing about resolutions, right? Is that if you say, "God, you want to wait for if you want to lose weight or whatever it is that you want to achieve, you want to wait for that perfect time. If you want to establish your business, you want to wait for that perfect timing. The stars, as you and I know, Peterson, they will never align,
Yep.
right? All business owners, right? The great minds, even politicians, right? There's never a perfect moment. There's never a perfect moment. So whatever your resolution is in 2026, the stars will not always align. But with that, I mean, in reference to that Nike, slogan, just do it.
Let's do it.
Just do it. You know what I mean? You never know what the outcome might be. You never know, what you might run into. You never know, what might be on the other side. So I think, right, we should leave behind in 2025 waiting for the perfect time. In 2026 should be what? Just do it. Because there's
Just
no
do it.
perfect timing. The
Yeah.
stars that will not align, and so just go ahead and do it, folks.
Yep. So with you talk about like perfect timing. I think when it comes to uh, all any breakthrough that happens, whether it's in politics, it's in business, a lot of people are more opportunistic than waiting for that perfect timing. If we look at Zora Madani in New York, this
Yeah.
is not somebody that grew up like, yeah, one day I'm going to be a politician and working towards it. Like we see him in House representative and then moving on to senator and then and so forth. And then like to become city mayor of New York. It's not something that he was waiting for that perfect moment or for all the stars to align. He just took that chance and
Yeah.
like, yeah, well, why not? What have I got to lose? Like President Trump said to his election, what have you got to lose? Throw me your vote. So it's the same thing. You never know what's going to happen with even President Obama when it wasn't like, oh yeah, this is the perfect time for him to become president. When he gave that speech at the Democratic National Convention, he just like, whoa, he just basically came from nowhere and overnight he became a sensation. So it's something like that. You don't have to wait for that. And it's the same thing with anything in life. It's not only about politics or business. If you have things that you want to achieve in life, you don't have to wait for A, B, C, D to happen in order for you to be able to go where you want to go. And especially we live in a land of opportunity. With everything that goes on in this country negative, this is still a country of opportunity.
Yeah, yeah, first, yeah, it's the richest country in the world. It has everything life has to offer. You know, the sky's the limit here. Yeah, despite everything, and that's what I was going to say, right? I mean, you raise a great point, Peter. When you, I mean, is that I love to travel locally within the United States. When you travel America, sometimes all of these things you hear, I mean, you read on social media, you see on social media, or when you watch TV, or when you listen to local news, or when you read the news, you see when you travel America, they're just physical observation. You don't really see it, right? You only see opportunity, you only see beauty, you only see man. Say the sky is a limit in this country, right? So that's what you see. So yeah, so to your point, the richest country in the world, the most prosperous country in the world. So I mean, the sky's the limit here, right? If you give it your all. But to your point, about like everything in life, right? You have to be. I mean, you can't just wait for that perfect timing. Like your example about Zoran Mondani. I mean, he was Jerome Mondani was running against like the mountain. Okay. No one thought number one, his background. When you look at his background, you say, man, this dude a Muslim, right? Number one, and then he's a person of color, you
Yep.
know, and then also, right, he was born, he's an immigrant from East Africa, he's an immigrant from Africa, you know what I mean? And things like everything about him didn't fit the bill,
Mhm.
right? When he started, everyone wrote him off, right? And then he considered himself to be a democratic socialist. Everyone wondering, dude,
What is
in New
it?
York, you want to be a democratic socialist in New York? You want rent free, or you want rent control? You want people, you want to reach to you want billionaires to pay their fair share? Are you what are you on weed, or are you on crack or something? So everything about him did not even, there was no like, it didn't align.
Mhm.
But yet he never wavered.
Yep.
He never waver, right? And that's the thing about life, right? He never waver. He never said, "I cannot do it," right? He gave it his best. He gave it a shot, and that's all we need to do. He gave it a shot, and guess what? It got him. Same thing with Obama, right? Yeah, I remember that 2004. There's no like blue America. There's no blue America. There's no red America. That speech,
Yeah.
right? In support of John Kerry. 4 years later, Obama was the nominee of the Democratic Party, and the rest is history. No one thought a black person could become president,
Mhm.
in these United States back then. No one thought.
Yeah.
Everyone wrote him off. And the reason why Hillary Clinton even overlooked him, or even during the primary, folks overlooked him, is that a black person,
Yeah.
okay, Barack Hussein Obama to become president. I mean, are you kidding? But guess what? You put his eye in a ring, and the rest is history.
Yep. Yeah. Is even during President Obama's term, like they were always saying, "Yes, we can." It's like you said just a moment ago about saying, "Oh, if you doubt yourself, if you say, oh man, this one is too hard, I cannot do it. I don't think I can." You always have to believe in yourself first before people can believe in you. And I truly believe that if you don't have that belief in yourself, how can you convince other people to believe in you? So you always have to have it that okay, I can do it. Even when it comes to we're talking about New Year resolutions and setting goals and things like that, is these are things that you have to convince yourself, believe in yourself, like, yes, I can do it. If it's even if it's just 10 pounds, it might look like 100 pounds to some people, like, man, that is so hard. But if you believe in yourself, like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And of course you have to do the work. Just believe it's not going to do it. You can just say, oh yeah, I can do it. I'm going to lose 10 pounds by by the end of February. It's not
Mhm.
just going to come off your body. You have to do the work. But you have to prepare for it. You have to put things in place. Am I going to go to the gym? Am I going to work out here? And people always say, like, when it comes to weight loss, for example, like majority of it has to do with dieting more than it does with the actual exercise.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
depending on how you eat, when you eat, and these things, you can go to the gym and work out for 2 hours. But then if you come home, a Liberian person like myself, you eat your every bowl of rice or you eat that fufu. Yeah, guess what? You didn't do nothing because that calorie you burn at the gym, you just put it all back on. So
Yeah.
you always have to be intentional, like we always keep saying here.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Well, folks, tonight we are discussing what are you leaving behind in 2025. We are in the first 4 week of 2026. And you know, what are you stepping into in 2026, right? We feel like 2026, what we are doing here tonight, giving you some, some great lines, dropping some great germs, what you should leave behind in 2025 and what you should step into in 2026. Whatever that is for you, right? You have to be intentional about it. The other thing, no, Peterson, right? You have to create habits. you know the one thing I try to, because like, if I don't create habits, right, what happens, like, I procrastinate. You might not know that, but I'm a big procrastinator, man. That's what about
Same here.
sometimes, man, I say, okay, the one thing I want to get out of my vocabulary, I've been working hard at it, right? Oh, I will do it later. That stuff is like, yeah, like, for me to, so sometimes I tell myself, no, no, no. Once I order that, I'll do it later. I said, nah, I gotta do it right now, right? Because that right there, right, that's procrastination right there. It
Hmm.
might be subtle, right? You might not even realize that you're procrastinating, right? Oh God, for you to do this thing, because once you do it and get it over with, it's done. Like, you know, um, like working out, right? Is that I struggle to go to the gym in the evening. So like, sometimes like I tell my so I have become intentional over the last couple of months. I guess what, man, I'm gonna wake up every morning, early in the morning, right? To go and just get it over with. It's 1 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes, and whatever. I'm just gonna get it over with. Because if I say I'm gonna wait in the evening, I'm not gonna get to it because life happens. I get busy with kids. And I said, God, the Midwest is cold, right? It's
Hmm.
cold. And so God, he's like, you just want to lay in the couch. And then boom, it's like you're not gonna get to it, and then while you procrastinate, and then it develop inconsistent routines. So I
Yep.
tell myself, I've become so I have been working on this constantly, right? It's like leaving behind the whole idea of doing it later. I just want to once I set my mind on it, what, I gotta get it done right now. Because
Do
if I put it off, guess what, Peter? It's never gonna get done.
it. Yeah. On that though, like personally, I'm a procrastinator as well, and when it comes to working out or exercise, I don't uh, like so every year the most I would spend either working out or going to the gym would be equivalent of maybe a month in the whole year. But every time people see me, they're like, man, do you live in the gym or you work out? I'm like, no, I don't. And a lot of people don't believe that I don't
Mhm,
actually go to the gym.
mhm,
So the last year, over the last year, I was thinking, I'm like, I should actually make this a habit. And when you're talking about creating new habits or you have to make it a habit, uh, research have shown that it takes 21 days to like create a new habit. So if it's something, whether it's new or you are renewing it or you coming back to it, it takes about 21 days. And then it used to be like 90 days to actually make that like part of your life. So when it comes to resolutions, this is what people have such a hard time with. And this goes to your point earlier about not having clarity and not having like
mhm,
tangible goals that you can achieve because they'll just say, ah, 2020 says I want to lose weight. Okay, how much weight do you want to lose? Like which weight? Are you going to lose it around your waist? Are you going to lose it around your stomach? Like what type of weight are you going to lose? Like, do you just want to lose weight? So if you make those type of vague goals or resolutions, you are not going to stick to it, and you have to be intentional. It has to become something that is a habit. So for me, when I wake up early, I wake up early every day, but I have to get the kids ready for school. So with that, unless it's on the weekend where I don't work, it's like it's almost impossible for me to do anything in the morning. So, but then I'm a huge sports fan, and everything happens in the evening. So, with that, I had to battle it and say, okay, I think it was back in November. I said, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna work out at least either every day or every other day. And it's just something I was doing in my garage where
mhm,
I
mhm,
would
mhm.
do jump rope before it got cold and I started to put the car in the garage. I would do it in the garage and just do jump rope and then do other exercises. So I intentionally used to do it in the evening so that it will motivate me, because if there's a basketball game on and I'm not sitting on the couch to watch it, then this is something that is serious. So I'll go in the garage and I would tune the TV out, like, okay, I don't even want to like see the score and things like that. And then I'll get done with my workout and then come in and go take bath and then come back. If I miss the game, I can check the score, I can check highlights and things like that. But these are things you have to be intentional about.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, what you are doing right there, right, is creating a routine, and the
Yeah.
routine has to be consistent, right? There has to
Yep.
be some level of consistency. And I like the gem that you drop. That in order for a routine or habit to stick, it has to be either 21 days or 90 days. That's great, right? Because I've even noticed that, right? Once I became intentional about me going to the gym every morning, waking up every morning, man, it's like seriously, when I go to bed and I wake, like as soon as the morning gets around, right? It's like
Yeah.
God, it's like my body say, gotta wake up, you gotta wake up and go, you gotta wake up and go. So if I don't, it's like it keep reminding, I keep reminding myself, man, you gotta wake up, you gotta wake up, you gotta wake up and go. So yes, I do agree with you because now that it has been a routine for the last couple of months, and so it has just become part of my daily habits, right? It's
Yep.
like it
Yep.
must be done. If I don't do it, it's something about it and stuff like that. And then the other point too, though, right, about as we leave 2025 and step into 2026, man. I mean, I don't know whether you notice it. I don't know whether it's me, but I know one of the things we had on here, one of the episodes we had on here last year is about the oversharing epidemic, right? I feel like one of the things we need to leave behind in 2025 is the overconsumption. Most of the things I think there's so much overconsumption, whether it's news, whether it's social media, whether even okay, everyone hear inflation, but then you hear like how consumers are spending more than last year. Okay, people are saying like there's inflation, times are high, but everyone is spending like crazy, right? Otherwise, but like it's like just overconsumption in every aspect of our life these days, right? I don't think maybe that's something we all need to look out say in the mirror, right? We need to leave overconsumption behind in 2025 and step into something new, right? There was a Wall Street Journal article I think today I saw is like intentionally ignoring. I mean, something about that. I'm not even. I don't think I'm even saying it right, right? But just about it's either critical ignoring or intentional ignoring certain stuff, like just tuning it out. I guess, right? Is that that's the point of trying to drive at. So I think that's what 2026. Maybe we all should look ourselves in the mirror and try to step into that because I feel like there's too much overconsumption. We are over consuming the wrong content, the wrong media, everything.
Yeah. Everything is being overconsumed, as you said. And I mean, rarely you would see somebody and you would tell them like, "Oh, did you hear about this?" And then the person would be like, "Wait, what? I don't have TV. I don't watch TV. I don't watch social media. I don't follow those people." It's very rare to find that nowadays because, like you said, if you're not getting it from social media, you're getting it from news, you're getting it from the TV, you're getting it from. I mean, just even in your workplace, the TV in the common areas, instead of like posting business metrics or what's going on in the company, it's all about like news or social media and everything. So like what happened on Saturday with the Venezuelan president is something that President Trump said he kept that. He didn't go to Congress because he didn't want any leaks and stuff like that. But the minute it happened, like you, there are literal pictures of him sitting on the ship. Like, how did these things get out so fast? And it's just everywhere. It's everywhere. So we overconsume the wrong things, as you said. And I mean, social media. We've always said it. It's not bad. It's not a bad thing. But the way in which people are utilizing it is what makes it, what brings that negative aspect of it, because people overshare and then people overconsume, because that's not a thing that will happen like across the ocean, or something that will happen in Minnesota within a few seconds. Everybody, especially and if it pertains an immigrant community or an immigrant person, within a minute, somebody within that community would share, and then it would share, and just within a few minutes, everybody know like, oh yeah, this person, ICE raided this person, or this person got arrested for this and this and that. So we consume the wrong things, and like you said, to go into 2026, but now that one is going to be a hard one for people to leave behind. If anything, I think there's going to be more of the oversharing epidemic, and pretty soon is just going to take over and it's going to be part of our lives. Like,
Yeah. I do agree with the point that you raised about, how people, I mean, even with AI have thrown a whole new twist to that, right? With the Venezuelan president stuff you talk about, right? Most of the images they said that came out were all AI generated, fake. Okay, so to know once the news got out that he was arrested, right, that he was captured, AI images just flooded the internet, just
yep,
flooded social media. Until I think the first real picture that was posted, was by the president on his true social. Even
yep,
after that, where folks went and recreated AI generated images from that. That's the kind of world we live in right now because everyone want to make, everyone want clicks, everyone want, content, right? It's like whoever that can, if you're savvy at this AI thing, go take that picture, whatever, however way you manipulate it, right, and do it, and it just go viral because that's what it is, right? Because people are looking for what validation. People are looking for where to consume their news, and it has become the whole thing about consuming news has become trouble, right? Like this, like there was an event or there's an incident in Minnesota. I think that's a Liberian immigrant that got arrested. You know that stuff I didn't see it because, as I said, right, I'm not a huge consumer of of social media.
mhm,
I mean, Cycle podcast have kind of made me to say, okay, we got to post our content, we got to do X, Y, Z. But you know what I mean. I hear that even now because we have all these, everyone these days, yeah, either part of a chat group on WhatsApp or something, right? I saw that stuff. It came across, I said, "Oh, have you seen this?" In one of our chat groups, someone mentioned that. Oh God, there was just a Liberian kid that was arrested in Broken Park, blah blah blah, by ICE agents and stuff like that, right? So it's like there's no way you can avoid consuming, no matter where you find yourself, right? Except you totally turn out your phone, Peter said, because it's all over. I mean, so I do agree with you. I don't think the overconsumption is gonna go away, but I just feel, man, that's where because even like another incident or another example is the whole fraud in Minnesota thing, right? When that kid Nick Sherry, this 23-year-old kid in Minnesota, he made a 43-minute viral video. No one cared to know whether it was right, whether it was factual, whether it was accurate. But the fact that he went there and just created this whole commotion, guess what? The White House picked it up. The rest is history. So that's the kind of world we live in. That's the kind of world we live in right now. So I do agree with you. I don't think it's gonna go away. But what it's creating, right? People, everyone, we are all in silos, consuming whatever we want to consume, believing whatever we want to believe, and no one knows what's the truth anymore.
yeah, nobody knows what's the truth, and that's the danger of it, because especially with the AI portion of it, where they can like go ahead and change an image or create an image or video. And now with the AI bots having being able to mimic somebody's voice, they're like, if they pull somebody in front of you and you hear the person's voice, I mean, we are visual beings. You'll be like, oh yeah, that's the person. You will not think twice, like, oh, okay, that's AI generated and things like that. So that's the danger part of it, because who knows, one of these AI generated images or videos, it could be of the wrong person doing the wrong thing, and it can set off a whole bunch of things that we cannot control, and it can get out of hand. So I think even though the oversharing and the overconsumption is not going to go away, but at the same time, people have to be smart about things and how they utilize social media. And like you said, everybody is clickbait. They want to go viral. They want consumers. They want likes and clicks and followers and things like that. But we always have to think of the the humanity side of things. Like, okay, uh, think before you post what's going to happen if somebody sees it. We said it last year about how people are just easily triggered. If
Hmm.
you put something up and it triggers the wrong person, they can drive from Washington State as that Afghan national did and go all the way to Washington D.C. to
Hmm.
commit a crime.
Yeah.
So we always have to be careful.
Definitely, definitely, I do agree with you. Well, folks, tonight we are discussing, right? So, first full week of 2026, 6 days, we are in day 6 of 2026. What are you leaving behind 2025 and what are you stepping into in 2026? If you are watching right now, you can put a comment in the chat. If you're going to watch us later, you can also do that. What are you leaving behind, in 2025 and step into in 2026? The one thing too, as I stated earlier, right? We have been hearing, oh yeah, we live in an inflationary environment, but our community, man, we avoid our finance. Two things our community avoid: money and our health. We immigrants sometimes, oh God, I don't want to battle. First of all, the American healthcare system is so complicated. you know, it's complicated. So sometimes we just avoid it until sometimes it's too late. So we avoid money conversation, our finances, right? We avoid that. We don't want to be battled with that, even our various homes, right? I mean, it's like you don't even want to sit down with your partner to say, okay, where are we? How can we? I don't know many people who put a budget, who community that put a budget together, right? That's something. These are things, right? But if that's not something you are doing, I think these are the things. Even 2024, when coming to 2026, I think Max P and I talk about that on our business segment. Is like you have to be intentional about your budget, right? About your finances. Okay, what are you? And there are certain habits maybe that were keeping you, that were making you broke in 2025. You gotta leave that behind. You gotta
Yeah,
leave that behind and step into something different in 2026, right? Whether it's making more money, whether it's cutting back on some stuff. The same thing with your health, right? Your annual physical is something we all gotta be mindful about because you never know, right? I think the one thing about this country I admire, even though the healthcare system is so complicated, and I think it's so money driven. When it comes to one thing, Peter, you should know about me is like when it comes to healthcare, yeah, right. I think I'm a conspiracy theorist when it comes to that because I feel like personally, I'm just saying that I'm just throwing it out there tonight. I do feel like there's cure for all these diseases, but the pharmaceutical company will not put that out there, bro, because they want to make it's about profit maximization. You know what I mean? So they want to make maximum profit. So
yes,
when you cue someone, guess what? They are not your customer anymore. So we live in a society where they rather medicate you, you know, than to solve your problem, even with the weight loss stuff you're thinking about. I mean, someone want to lose weight, they actually have to do injection or take pills.
yeah.
Like really, dude, make that make sense to me. If I want to lose weight, come on. Why do I have to do pills, right? So it's like it's the whole again come back to the whole mindset thing about our finances and our health and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so when it comes to those type of areas in our life, like you said, for the immigrant community, there are uh, two of maybe several things, but the top two things that we avoid like plague, like you said, is health, talking about our health. That's probably like number one, and then there are other minor things, but when it comes to healthcare, people avoid talking about like health insurance, life insurance, and things like that. So, as I said, I think it was the beginning of last year or back in 24. I say I'm a licensed insurance professional, but I don't. It's not something like, oh yeah, I'm going out and soliciting people and something. So I think it was either last year or the end of 2024. I made a mistake. And group chat that I'm a part of is a WhatsApp group, and it's majority African, and most of them are from Liberia.
Yeah.
So I posted in the group chat. I think somebody posted that an associate or somebody they knew had passed away from, I think, either like cancer or something like that,
Hmm.
and they were talking about collecting funds for the person. Like, oh yeah, this other group will collect, and our group we need to collect. So I tell them like, is I'm going to contribute to this, but we need to stop doing this like GoFundMe stuff, because if we prepare this is something that is inevitable.
Yeah.
Nobody is going to live forever, and
Yeah.
it's one topic that people avoid like
Mhm.
there's a gun to their head. So I'm like, we need to prepare as individuals, as
Mhm.
people,
Mhm.
have something in place. You don't have to have $1 million policy. Get something that will be able to cover certain expenses. And
Mhm.
I posted that in the chat. Man, they chew me. I'm like, people like, why? How dare you talk about life insurance in this group? Life insurance is a personal thing, and people should do it. So I'm like, I'm sorry that I even brought that up. I'm so sorry, but these are things that we avoid. And like you said, when it comes to healthcare in this country, and you are not the only person to think that this whole thing of it being controversial or a conspiracy theory, like, yeah, they don't want you to get well. They want to medicate you. They treat you for your symptoms so that you can keep coming back and back and back. But even with as broken as the healthcare system is in this country, if you have health insurance, whether it's through the public health system or through your employer, the annual physical is covered. Annual physical is covered. Whether you're a man or the woman, annual physicals are covered unless they do like extra things, then those you pay for. And there's one thing that somebody told me before when it comes to healthcare in the US. That's one thing that you're not going to go to jail for not paying your healthcare bill. Yes, they will keep sending it to you. Oh, you owe this. They might send it to collections. And collections, they will bug the mess out of you. But they're not going to come and say, oh, yeah, you're going to get arrested for not paying your healthcare bill. No, however little you can pay, if when that bill comes, if it's $1,000, if it's $500, if they send you the bill and you say, oh, all I have this month is $20, they're going to take that $20. They're not going to say no, unless you have the full amount, don't pay it. No, but we neglect going to the doctor unless we feel something is wrong. That's the only time we go to the doctor. And like if you said, we need to be ahead of like everything that happens in this country, especially when it comes to your health, because many times uh, when you wait to go to the doctor to find out, it's already too late.
Correct to that.
It's
Yep,
already
yep,
too late.
yep, yep. That's it right there. But fuck this is a 1 hour show, right? We have been babbling here for the last 1 hour. Great show, actually. I did enjoy. I've enjoyed the show. I've enjoyed the conversation as always, right? Once I'm conversing with my man Peterson, where we drop some great gems, we provide some great information. So it's been a really really great conversation, great discussion. So we have been discussing what are you leaving behind in 2025 and step into in 2026. The last thing I want to touch on, right, Peters, before we wrap up as a 1 hour show, man, is like, is the whole, in our community, especially in our West African or Liberian community, right? I feel that I have noticed over the last couple of months, or maybe especially in 2025. Obviously we are not the only platform. There are a lot of other, Liberians platform out there, but it's just the toxic relationships or environments, right? It's like you know, I think that our community, like, there's so much. Dude, when I say that, like, before I even expand on that further, right? Like last my 2025 goal was to be like Elon Musk. When I say that, man, I always dream about trying to, Elon Musk, term of not his kind of money, but his work ethic, right? His mindset, his work ethic, and then hopefully maybe it will get me to my ultimate goal of trying to make money, right? Because that's what it is. But Peter Steve says that in our community, I mean, there's so much toxic relationship environments. People are cussing each other. Like even there's a sad story that I heard in Iowa. Someone killed their partner, their ex, and stuff like that, right? Maybe it's like so much toxic relationship or environment that we find ourselves in our community. And I think we need to leave that behind in 2025, right? 2026. I know it's hard to be positive in a kind of a world we live in right now, in an environment we live in right now, but man, it doesn't take much to be nice, to get yourself away from toxic relationship, to get yourself away from toxic environment that's not contributing to your growth. Because I feel like when I say sometimes, on many times on this platform, I've said, Peterson, like we all got mental problem. And what really amplify our mental problem in this country is a toxic environment sometimes we put ourselves in, right?
Mhm.
Or the toxic relationship we associate ourselves with. And like that is really, really that is so huge in our community, right? I feel that it's like it's a problem. and I'm appealing to our community that we should leave that behind in 2025. I know some of these, platforms, they are trying to get clicks, they're trying to get likes, they're trying to get followers. But man, we can just get away from that toxic relationship, those toxic environment, try to promote something, some positive vibe for our community.
Yeah, there's so much toxicity when it comes to like and it seems like that's all we see because like we said there are negative stories. It sells more, it gets more clicks, and more people gravitate towards negative articles and things like that. But it seems like everywhere you turn on, like you said, other platforms and things like that, that's all you see. And it's not only uh, relationship between like boyfriend girlfriend or husband wife. This is like family drama playing out in plain sight. And many times, I mean, if because a platform like Inner Circle Podcast, if somebody calls and say, "Oh, yeah, I have some drama. Oh, yeah, this juice, I have to drop it. It's so juicy." We're gonna be like, "Yeah, what is it promoting like the community? Is it something that is uplifting people?" If you are putting somebody else now, yeah, there are many platforms you can do that on. And like you said, we're not looking for likes or followers. Yes, we'll like those, but at the same time we are not just bringing about just any story just so we can pull in the audience. And that's why it seems like everybody that pops up, if somebody starts doing a live video today and they say, "Oh yeah, this is now what I'm going to start doing," the next thing you will see somebody on there talk like cussing somebody else out, and those are things that get clicks and likes and things like that. But yeah, we need to do better as a community. Social media wasn't meant for that. There are other ways to utilize social media to
Mhm.
make the money that everybody's looking for to make on social media. So we need to leave those negativity behind. Like if somebody is in a toxic relationship, it's not our place to promote it and try to give it life. This is something that is supposed to be discouraged. If your kids are fighting among themselves, or you have good friends that are actually they have some sort of disagreement, it's your place to actually go and try to make peace, not promote it. Bring one person on and say, "Yeah, go ahead, just let it ring," and then when that person's done, it's like, "Oh, did you hear what they said? Okay, what you got to say about it," and things like that. So we have to do better.
Yeah, yeah, I do agree with you. I do agree with you. Definitely, we have to do better. And I know, right? I mean, to your point, everyone, right? Even in a cycle platform here, we do need subscribers, we did need followers, right? But we are not going out there trying to chase it, right? Our conversations here, is trying to enlighten the community, is trying to, bring about amplify the good news about immigrant experience, about live experiences here, right? So it's like, and folks like it when folks come across our platform, they like it, they like what we are talking about, they like the various topic that we bring day night in and night out. So like the guests that we bring on here, right? Is that because, as I said, if you look across, our ecosystem, right, the immigrant ecosystem, you have to find those, right? Everyone is just bombarding each other. So, but you don't find that here. Right? But seriously, man, as we try to wrap up, that's what I want to do. And I will go first, and maybe I mean, or you can go first. But I want to know like two things you are leaving behind in 2025 and two things you are stepping into in 2026. I have mine, but I
Yeah.
want you, yeah, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. I can go first if you want me to, or you
No,
want to.
I can go.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so yeah, it's been a great conversation as always, and thank you for everybody that tuning in. Those who will see this later, I want to say thank you. For me personally, going into 2026, uh, I said my resolution, one of the two things that was on my mind was this year I want to grow closer to God. Now
Mm,
it can mean so many different things to so many different people. But for me, like personal relationship with God, I want that to grow not only in it's not like a routine or something that I'll do like, oh yeah, I have to read the Bible, read certain number of verses every day. No, that's not what I'm talking about. It doesn't have to be something that is like a routine, but just decisions that I make, things that I do within my family, within my own personal life to say, okay, well, uh, this decision, am I just making it by myself, or did I think about it, did I pray about it to say, okay, well, this is something that I want to do. So everything that uh, I want to do when it comes to making decisions, whether it's about career, it's about family, it's about anything, I want to first bring it to God and pray about it and think about it, and then uh, many times when you do that, you will receive some type of confirmation. So if I just go ahead and say, "Oh, okay, God, this is what I want to do. I'm applying for a new job. Uh, just let your will be done." Many times you will see, even if you are like the number one candidate, you might think like, yeah, I have this in the bag, and then something might happen, you will turn it, or you might not think of it like, man, yeah, that job is beyond me. I don't have the skills or everything, and then you will receive some type of confirmation. They'll be like, oh yeah, they loved you, and then you'll be like, wait, what? What happened? How did that happen? And things like that. Yeah, and then when it comes to even health, like we're talking about, I want to be healthy. Uh, Now, I'm not going to say, oh, yeah, I want to just lose weight. No, I'm not going to like set those type of goals, but I want to be healthy in the sense that to eat healthy. It's not like I'm eating unhealthy, but I can, yeah, I can do better when it comes to my diet and things like that. So
Yeah,
those are
that's a
good.
good one, right? I definitely love your first one about your faith. I
Yeah,
think man, that stuff keep me grounded. I think I've said it here many times. It's like my 1 hour in my Catholic church. Wherever I go, it's like it keeps me grounded. It keeps me like it's like things move me. Don't get me wrong, but the fact
mhm.
that I have that aspect of it exists in my life. No matter when the whole world
What is
my whole world
yeah,
crashing down, I just God will provide, right? Because
yeah,
I feel like, hey, it's like one of the quote in the Bible is like, if I can provide for the birds and all these other folks, right? It's like, why not you, right? Someone that I made in my likeness and my image. So
yeah.
so I will look up to that. So I like your first one. So here's mine. Mine is, right, I'm leaving behind. Two things I'm leaving behind in let's say in 2025. And all those that know me, I know Peterson, you and I, is that we have not into eye test, in person much. But all those that know me, all my friends was like, they'll be surprised at this. But I'm trying, I'm leaving behind alcohol, Guinness specifically. Like Burma is Guinness, you know. So I have decided
Now,
I'm leaving that behind in 2025. But
okay,
it's only a 1 year thing. So in 2026, I'm stepping into no Guinness. That's why I'm stepping. So
okay,
that's it, right? So I'm leaving Guinness behind in 2025. I say,
okay.
and that's in line with, like the whole aspect about the health piece that you brought, right? Okay, man, you're working out, man, but you just feel that you're 9 months
You're not
pregnant.
doing
I say, yeah, you know what I mean? He's like, yeah. So I say, what? Okay, let me try this, right? It's like, okay, let me give that a try and see how is that gonna work out. So,
mhm.
folks, I'm leaving Guinness behind in 2025. 2026, I'm stepping into a sober reality.
Okay.
I don't know if I can get through that, right? That's my resolution, right?
Well,
I'm
hopefully,
consistent.
yes.
Yeah, hopefully, right? That's what I'm praying about, right? I'm praying for. I've consistent this already, Peter. I'm not even craving it, right? Like, the funny thing is, over the weekend, I went somewhere. Like my friends were like, "Man, it's like, here you go." I said, "Nah, I'm good."
Nah. They're like, wait, who are you?
Yeah,
Where's
it's okay. Are you for real or are you kidding? Right? Yeah. So I'm leaving that behind in 2025 and stepping into a sober reality
okay?
in
Okay,
2026. So that's one.
that's
So hold
great.
me accountable to that. You're my partner
Yes,
on here every Tuesday.
yes,
So hold
yes.
me accountable to that. So
Okay,
the other thing too, that I'm leaving behind in 2025, right? Remember, I think Miss B and I talked about this a little bit on our last segment.
Hmm.
I says like, like when I come into 2025, I said, God, I think I mentioned this earlier too. I want to be the Elon Musk, right? I was
Yeah.
doing so much, right? Doing so much. But Peter said my bank account is still empty. So 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 yeah, my bank account is still empty. I still feel like, God, I'm okay. What am I doing wrong? So
Yeah.
so I'm leaving behind all this business in 2025, right? And be intentional, be creative, and be, go after my bread a little bit, right? And
Right.
what I mean, and stuff like that is like just try to, like monetize some of the all this stuff we're doing around here, right? It's like, okay,
Hmm.
because I mean Elon Musk runs 6 companies, but he's making money out of all of them. You
Right.
know, yeah, so I think maybe like, so I'm leaving behind, yeah, doing all these things right now is like trying to monetize it in 2026, right? It's like, so those are my two parallel, right? Yeah, those are my two parallel. So, but yeah, so so that's it there. But this has been a great conversation, Peter. As always, man. You
Yeah.
and I, when we bring out these topics, sometimes we feel like, God, is this gonna take? And at the end of the day, man, it just take, So folks though, right? Whatever yours is, let us know. If you want to be like me, leaving Guinness behind, want to be the Peterson, getting closer to God, man. Those are two. I mean, those are all great, great, great things. So whatever your resolution is, my prayer for you, and I know Peterson prayer for you is to stick to it.
Yep.
Right? Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. Stick to it.
Great. You
Don't
still have
give up.
21 days
Yeah,
to settle in, and then
yeah.
90 days to make it a part of your life. Make it a habit.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. My man Peterson, man, thank you so much for joining this segment. And as always, man, I look forward to us doing this every Tuesday. And
Yes,
as we
sir.
move forward, right, as we move into this year, hope that we can have great conversation, bring some great guests on here on Tuesdays. There's a lot happening in this 2026, right? Already there's a lot has happened. It's only been 6 days, but
Hmm.
it's been like 12 months already. So we
Yep.
hope
And
we can
there's
do more, share
the
more light.
anniversary of the January 6th.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah. So, well, folks, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Miss B and I will be back here tomorrow for our business segment. Peterson, man, it's been great having this discussion with you. Thank you so much, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Together we rise for the strong.